Let's try this again. I'm having some technical difficulties. Hopefully, my live will work this time. It keeps going in and out saying the video won't work, the audio won't work, giving me the gray screen. I think the powers that be don't like this topic of conversation. They don't like this type of conversation going on, so YouTube's trying to, not cooperate the way they're supposed to. But we're here. We're here. Better late than never. We're here. I'm about to wind this thing down. I got some stuff to do, but you know, I figured it's something on my mind. I might as well chop it up with y'all for a little bit. Tell y'all what I've been thinking about recently. I'm not flexing. I just mosquito bit me. All right, so check it out, guys. I realized, recently, I made some videos about reparations. Right now, as far as politics goes, especially black politics, this reparations movement is the strongest thing going as far as black politics goes right now. If anybody was to say what's the black agenda, reparations would have to be at the top. They would have to be at the top of the black agenda. Now, what's at the top of the Democratic agenda? Then you're talking about the Ukraine war. You might talk about health care. You might talk about student loan forgiveness. But the thing about it is, the Democrats, they haven't really done anything specifically for black people really since the 60s. And even when they did, the civil rights movement, because we were so inclusive, we didn't really get any tangible benefits just for us. All the civil rights that we fought for in the 60s benefited everybody. Everybody. But nothing specifically for the foundational black Americans who helped to build this country since the beginning and were never compensated for our efforts. So I think this reparations movement is growing, is gaining steam, is getting momentum. I'm from Atlanta, but I grew up in DC. DC, 10 out of 13 council members, DC council members, city council members just passed a bill saying basically we should begin to study reparations and how we're going to move forward with reparations. Has reparations passed yet? No. Am I satisfied with a bill to study reparations? No. But it's a step in the right direction, and it's an acknowledgement that it's something that needs to be talked about. It's an acknowledgement that people are focused on this thing right now, and it's not going away. I'd go so far as to say it's inevitable that foundational black Americans get reparations because it's a debt that's owed to us, and there's enough people on code, people like me, people like Tariq Nasheed, people like Pharaoh Ramses Elaton, people like the ADOS movement, Yvette Carnell, Tone. There's enough people in the grassroots, in the streets. I went in DC, I went to the Rally for Reparations this past summer. Tariq Nasheed held this Rally for Reparations. It was a big movement. I saw hundreds, if not thousands of people out there. Yeah, shout out to Tariq Nasheed for putting that together. There's a lot of people all across the country who are getting on code with this foundational black American thing, understanding that reparations is a debt that's owed. And it's not about, a get rich quick scheme. It's not all about redistribution of wealth. No, it's about a debt that is owed. It's not right to let your parents get robbed and enslaved and beaten, the wealth of generations taken from them. And you can see, you have the knowledge, you know who did it. You can see their descendants benefiting from the fruits of your ancestors' labor, and they refuse to give you what you're owed. They refuse to give you what was stolen, your inheritance, which was stolen from you. Nah, it's enough of us who's not going to go for that. It's enough of us who's going to fight back. And the more we fight back, the more we keep it in conversation, the more we talk about it, the more other people get the courage to say, you know what? If he's talking about it, let me talk about it. You know what? If he's talking about it, you know what? He's right. We are old. And I'm tired of trying to hide and be ashamed of saying, yeah, we're old. Our people were an exceptional, unique people, and we deserve what they lived and fought and died for. The fight doesn't end with them. There's enough people in this new generation who's not just going to roll over and say, well, that was the past. We'll let you keep all the spoils of war. No. 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 We're going to keep fighting until we get what we're owed. Right? And it's the right thing to do. We're fighting for justice. It's the majority of the problems in the black community are due to economic injustice, economic disparities, economic injustice perpetuated upon the black community on purpose. And the only way to address this is through systemic change, systemic redress of wrongs done to our people. With that being said, as I'm thinking about all of these things, and I just mentioned a few names with the Tariq Nasheeds and the Yvettes, with the ADOS movement and the FBA movement, and as I think about some of these key players, some of these recognizable names, some of these larger influencers, it strikes me that I haven't heard a lot from Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam is one of the black community's strongest institutions. It used to be the black church. A lot of very powerful people came out of the black church. Of course, Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, is the most recognizable, easily identifiable names of people who came out of the black church. SCLC, the Southern Christian, I work in tech, so I'm thinking about life cycles, SDLC, software development life cycle, but getting away from the tech jargon. SCLC, the Southern Christian Conference. Sorry, it's a little late here, so I'm tired. The name escapes me, but Christian Leadership Conference. Southern Christian Leadership Conference, is that right? Brain freeze. But the point is, the black church, up until the 60s, was very powerful, very influential, and very useful for pushing for social change. I think after the 60s, I think it was in the 1970s when the United States government made a deal with the churches that they could become a 501c3, and by becoming a 501c3, they get tax deferment. They don't have to pay taxes to the government. So when they take all your tithes and offerings in the church, they don't pay taxes on that. They just keep the money. The pastor keeps the money. But in exchange for not paying taxes as a 501c3 entity, they're no longer allowed to speak about anything related to politics. So they're no longer able to push for social change. They're no longer able to talk about politics, talk about our president, talk about the way that the people are being done wrong. They're not allowed. So if you notice, for the past going on 50, 60 years now, the black church has been largely irrelevant. I mean, black men have pretty much altogether stopped going to church, don't have any respect for the church. Even if some of our ideologies match up with the things they teach in the church, we don't go there because we know that the pastor's not really saying nothing real. It's just saying something milquetoast, something palatable, something soft that sounds good for the masses, but there's no real challenge to the system. There's no real call for discipline. There's no real push for change. So black people, black men especially, are no longer looking to the church for any type of help or any type of cues or any type of leadership. But the Nation of Islam does still get respect. The Nation of Islam does still offer a beacon of hope for social change, and a lot of people's eyes, especially in the eyes of the black men. Black men still respect not so much the church, but black men still respect the Nation of Islam because they do uphold a level of discipline, a level of consistency, a level of what word am I thinking of? Starts with the D. Not discipline, but rebelliousness. Rebelliousness against white supremacy. Rebelliousness against the status quo. Rebelliousness against systemic racism. Nation of Islam has always been against it, always been for the upliftment of black people in America. And for that reason, black people, especially black men, still respect the Nation of Islam. But surprisingly enough, there's been very, very quiet, very little. I've heard very little from the Nation of Islam regarding this topic of reparations. As I said a few minutes ago, I went to a rally for reparations, Tariq Nasheed's rally for reparations in 2022. And on the flyer before I went, I saw Rizza Islam was scheduled to speak. But when I got there, I noticed Rizza Islam wasn't there. I saw Tariq Nasheed, got pictures of him. I think I posted some of them on my YouTube channel. You can go check out some shorts I made. I saw Dr. Boyce Watkins. You can check out the shorts I made of him. I think I posted those on YouTube. I might still have them on iCloud or something, but I think I posted some videos from Rally for Reparations on my channel. So you can go check those out. I was at the Rally for Reparations. I saw some good speakers. I saw Professor James Smalls. But one person I didn't see, and to be honest with you, Tariq Nasheed was the first one I wanted to see. And the second one I wanted to see was Rizza Islam. The top three I wanted to see was Tariq Nasheed, Rizza Islam, and Dr. Boyce Watkins. I saw Tariq Nasheed, saw Boyce Watkins, but I didn't see Rizza Islam. And I was disappointed by that. So I tried to do some quick, searches to see if there was an official position. I saw one or two comments from Rizza in passing, but his thing is more so about the vaccines. He's all about the jab. I don't know about the YouTube algorithm, so I can't really say that word too freely, but you know, his thing is all about beware of the jab, be careful because you don't know what you're putting in your body. Okay, I get that. There's definitely a need for conversation concerning health and medical procedures. There's definitely a need for that type of conversation. But for the momentum that we're trying to build in reparations, and for the Nation of Islam being Black America's #1 institution, you would think you would see more videos from the nation big up in reparations, giving some type of guidance on how we should achieve gaining our reparations. Is it even a realistic goal for us to fight for? Some motivation, some encouragement, some direction from the nation, specifically from the Honorable not Elijah Muhammad. Sorry, it's late here, guys, but from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. He's the leader right now of the Nation of Islam. For decades, they've been preaching we need to separation, right? But we can't separate if we're poor. We can't separate if we have no resources. So you would think getting reparations would be a step in the right direction. But I've seen very, very little support. I've seen very little support from the Nation of Islam. I don't think I've seen anything. I don't think I've seen not one word concerning reparations from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Yeah, I know he's an older man now. I believe he's in his 90s. So I'm sure he's busy and he has health concerns that he needs to deal with. I'm sure he's a busy man. But you would think that he could make a statement. And everything that he talks about, you'd think that he would want to go on record concerning this topic, because reparations might not come in his lifetime, but it's going to come. The day will come. And as it comes, you would think that he would want his name to be on record for supporting it, for supporting the fighters, for supporting the folks who are pushing for it. You would think that would be something he would be interested in speaking on. And I'm just kind of curious if there's anybody out there from the nation who sees this video, who cares to explain or expound or point me in the direction of some videos of maybe someone talking about it and I just missed it. But I haven't seen anybody talking about it. Listen, it's getting late here, guys. I'm getting kind of tired. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. But I hope this gets back to someone from the nation. What's going on? Talk to us. Y'all supporting us? Are y'all rocking with us or what? If you're from the nation or if you know somebody, leave it in the comment section. Let me know what's going on with the reparations movement. Do you support it, or are we just wasting our time? Hit the like button if you like our videos, and be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Peace.